Welcome back, everybody. Listen, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and let's get right into the material. So, a lot of people are concerned about Diddy's safety. A lot of people in positions of power within the penal system are concerned about Diddy's safety. The place where he's being held at that Brooklyn jail is known for chaos, drama, and is known for violent acts that happen almost on a daily basis. We're going to talk about that. But first, people are more concerned about the trivial things, like what was his first meal? What was his first prison meal? Because, poor people out in the streets, we grab some ramen noodles. We might try to zest it up, raise it up by putting in a couple of hard-boiled eggs in it, a little bit of seasoning to razzle-dazzle it. But people like Diddy and them, they probably spend our week's wage on dinner, fine dining, filet mignon, caviar, steak, shrimps, lobster, done to a certain kind of way with some kind of sauce we've never heard of. $50 a cup for the water that they drink at their table. $500 bottles of wine, $500 plates of food. To go from that and to go from like a multi-million-dollar home, a $50-60 million home, to sleeping in a prison cell or a jail cell rather, that's got to do something to your conscience. That's got to do something to your mind. If ever you felt like you hit rock bottom, I think Diddy right now is asking himself, it can't go no lower than this. This has got to be rock bottom. And I don't think Diddy has ever been in this type of situation before in his life. So it's not like he came from the streets and he has a record. Diddy came from college. He came in with a university degree, went into the industry. He wasn't one of them street dudes who was out on the corner hustling, used to get picked up, knows what inside of a jail cell looks like, been doing this since whatever. He's not no Bobby Shmurda. Bobby Shmurda been seasoned to the system since he was a kid. Diddy ain't used to none of this. So he's got to be going crazy behind them walls. Now, reports from the Independent says Sean Diddy Combs, his first meal at the notorious New York jail has now been revealed, following the judge's decision that he must remain behind bars while he is awaiting trial on racketeering and sex trafficking charges. So they went back to the judge for a second bail hearing, and the judge denied bail again. The judge said, "We want you to stay in jail until your trial starts, because I feel like if I let you out, that you are going to do some of the very things you're accused of doing in these 14 pages of indictment." The music mogul, Sean Diddy Combs, has switched now from his sprawling multi-million-dollar mansion in Los Angeles and Miami for the comforts of this detention center, dirty-ass, dusty, dingy detention center in Brooklyn, New York. This facility is actually famous because other famous people have been held there. Giselle Maxwell, R. Kelly, to name a few other people, have been there. Fall from grace, people who are used to opulence, people who are used to money, they've came through this place. Now, as he awaits his trial in this facility, Diddy will be served 3 meals per day. And these 3 meals per day will be delivered to his cell. As far as we've been told, he is not mixing and mingling with the general population. He's not allowed to. He is the kind of person that is high risk. He is the kind of person that the facility will put into segregation so that the facility does not get in trouble. Because if anything happens to him now, before he has his day in court to prove guilty or innocent, then that facility could be held liable. So he's pretty much in segregation. He's pretty much in what we call completely locked in, right? Now, that right there, that alone, solitary confinement lockdown is not nice. It sends people crazy. When you have nobody to communicate with, and you got to think about it like this. Diddy is the kind of person, he walks the streets, everybody recognizes him. People are running up to him. People are asking for interviews. People are asking for at least an autograph. People want to bump a fist, get a hug, take a picture with them. He's used to being in front of the cameras. He's used to being the man in the room. He's used to being somebody famous. Now, to go to a quiet-ass solitary confinement cell, that's got to do something to the mind. So he's battling with all these demons. And then, not to mention, all the stuff that he was addicted to or he was using over the years. I don't give a damn if it's cigarettes. Any other illicit drug in his system. Maybe he used to pop a perky every now and then. Maybe it's some oxys. Maybe it's alcohol. Maybe it's just tobacco or weed. Whatever it is that your body was used to outside of this. Oh man, you could imagine the sudden withdrawal. Not being able to lean on any of your vices. So he's in the cell. He's going through it. The first meal that the rapper got was Swedish meatballs. Spaghetti and meatballs. Prison, jail, spaghetti and meatballs. Swedish meatballs. They try to make it sound good, like it came from some Gordon Ramsay restaurant. It didn't. It's prison food, Swedish meatballs. The same prison, the same food people who serve the jails, they have the contract to serve the prisons. So you got prison meatballs. They call it Swedish meatballs. He also had the option to have a vegetarian black bean burger, which they said he rejected it. He was like, I don't want that vegetarian black bean burger. The meal that he chose, the Swedish meatball meals, it came with a side. Here are his sides. Egg noodles, green beans, and a garden salad. Now, it sounds good on the outside, but please remember that this is jail food. Egg noodles, green beans, and a green salad with a certain kind of dressing on it, and a beverage. I don't know what the beverage was. Another news media house said it was a bottle of water. That's what the paper reported. The food choices, man, listen. A life in prison overall will be a far cry from glamour and all the fame and all the opulence and all the richness and everything at his fingertips that Diddy is used to. Now, the day will begin for him, if you want to know what it's like or what's going to be like for him. His days will begin at a 6 a.m. wake-up call. This is what former warden Cameron Lindsay told TMZ, because he worked there before. So he said for years, he said, I'm going to tell you what his day is going to be like. His day is going to start with a 6 a.m. wake-up call, and Diddy will be expected to make his own bed and mop the floor in his cell, keep his surroundings clean as they come through for that head count, making sure none of the prisoners escape, everybody is still in their place where they're supposed to be. Every day, he will be given 1 hour of recreational time, and he can shower 3 times a week. Damn. Every day he will be given 1 hour of recreational time, which means he'll be on lockdown 23 hours a day. For 1 hour out of those 23 hours, because it's 24 hours in a day, he'll be allowed to go out of his cell into another guarded area where he can probably look up at the sky or look across the way and see a couple of buildings and see free people moving around outside, right? And then he'll be back in his cell. He'll be allowed to shower 3 times a week. Damn. This is somebody who could shower 3 times a day if he chose to. He'll now be allowed to shower 3 times a week. And he might not even get them 3 showers per week. Friends and family can visit him periodically, and of course that has to be scheduled. His lawyers, they will visit more often because they are working on his case. I know for sure his sons will be there trying to visit him. His family members will be trying to visit him. I remember Gene Deal or somebody said, I've been around Puffy for years, and I'm telling you right now, he puts up a hard front, but he's not really a hard dude like that. If he gets put in a situation where he is incarcerated, I'm looking to say that he's the kind of person who will probably off himself. I hope it doesn't come to that. I hope Diddy actually shows them that he can go through hellfire and come out on the other side, regardless of whatever it is he's been accused of and the fact that he's going to have to pay. Let that be between him and the justice system and him and God. I'm none of those, right? I'm just saying, go pay for your sins. Go pay for your bad deeds, if that be the case, right? Deal with the hand that karma has dealt you, but don't off yourself. Now, Diddy is currently housed in a jail cell in a special unit away from general population. And I explained to you before why. This is likely due to security reasons, right? As some inmates might consider taking his life as some kind of badge of honor or special stripes that they get. Believe it or not, it's actually a thing. Get close to him. Extort him. He got money. Make him put money on your books for protection. Or do other things to him just so you can say you did other things to Diddy. Diddy was arrested Monday in New York, and he was hit with charges, serious charges that carry a lot of time in prison. Charges like racketeering, sex trafficking, and transporting to engage in prostitution, basically saying he ran a prostitution ring. Allegedly, all this went on for decades. So what they're saying is that he was running a criminal enterprise that forced victims to carry out sex acts and to participate in activities under threat, stress, duress, and drug-induced. Damn. He has pleaded not guilty to the charges. Now, in his first court appearance on Tuesday, Diddy's attorney asked the judge to release him on house arrest until the trial, but the judge denied that. On his second appearance, appealing that decision on Wednesday, another judge denied that request again. Not the same judge, a different judge said no again. Diddy's legal team argued that several courts in this district have recognized that the conditions of the Metropolitan Detention Center are not fit for pre-trial detention. So if you can let somebody out and keep them under close wraps, why not do that? The system itself has deemed this jail in particular a messed up place that needs to be fixed. MDC it's called, right? MDC has been plagued with violence, chronic understaffing, lack of medical care, and unsanitary conditions for a long time. Even rats have infested the place. Earlier this year, an inmate, Uriel White got stabbed to death while he was waiting for trial on gun charges. Imagine you in there, you waiting for your gun charge so you could go to court and clear your name, and you get stabbed to death in the same jail. Earlier this year it happened. Many have spoken out about the barbaric conditions inside of that particular jail where Diddy is at. One inmate said, this jail right here, stabbings happen at least a couple of times a week. At least a couple of times per week. One guy was stabbed in the eye with a makeshift knife, a shank. These knives that they have in here, I have never seen. We talking about some big, long knives. First time in jail. These knives are like 6 to 9 inches long sometimes, you know? Homemade with materials from the steel walls. It's very violent in here. There's stabbings and beatings at least a couple of times a week. Now, MDC is a facility that is no stranger to famous faces. And like I told you before, Maxwell was there, who was the assistant to Epstein. Fry Festival fraudster Billy McFarland was there. R. Kelly came through there. And a couple more other people we won't even mention at this time. So now you have it. That's the rundown for Diddy. That's what it's going to be like for him. These are the type of foods he's going to be eating. And these are the conditions he's going to be living in until he gets his day in court to prove guilty or innocent. Now, I'll go ahead and say this. People listen to these videos that we do, and then they get in the comment section and argue with us as if we are Diddy. If you angry at Diddy or if you are triggered, don't take it out on us. I'm not saying he didn't do what he's accused of doing. So I'm tired of seeing the comments that say, stop defending him. Y'all always defending people like this. I'm giving my opinion. My opinion is this. They could very well let this guy out on bail, put him on house arrest, put an ankle monitor on him. They could even put police personnel at his damn door. He doesn't have to be in here, you know, and not just for him, but for any person to be in a position where you've been accused of something and they'll lock you somewhere just accused. That's like being in prison before you've been found guilty. Guilty goes to jail or prison. Not innocent goes to jail or prison. So I think people should be processed through, not just Diddy. People should be processed through. And then unless you are of some great risk, he's about to run the streets. His mind is deranged. He just goes around shooting and stabbing people, which is not the case with Diddy. Then I think he should be allowed out, not to roam around. Put your restrictions on him and continue your investigation. And then once everything is put together, have a day in court. If he's found guilty, then take his ass off to prison where he will do his time. But right now it's like he is in prison based on accusations. And then, of course, because of who he is and the unlimited resource he seems to have, hundreds of millions of dollars, they're like, you got all the resources in the world, so we have to hold you here, which is not a crime to have such resources. So I'll leave this one right here for you, and I'll continue to follow this, and you will hit that subscribe button and the bell next to it and get your membership to the channel, and we'll continue as we do. I'll catch you on the next video. I'm out. Peace.